The year is coming to an end, and it's time to assess the results of the previous year and also to build the plans for the next one. Today I would like to discuss not the specific tools in Excel, but rather the learning process itself, and explain you what is the most efficient way of doing this, at least in my opinion. How could you learn the Excel in the wrong way, you would ask? Well, there are multiple examples of how basic things could be done the wrong way. I know it may not sound encouraging. Learning about learning. But at the end, we spend hours and hours working in Excel. And it makes sense to invest a bit of time to save a few minutes from each hour. Before going deeper, let's clarify who is using the Excel. There are different groups of people. First group is represented by the geeks who really enjoy working in Excel, spending time in it, and actually treat this activity more like a hobby. For them, the learning process is more important than the output. The second group of people are those who use the Excel from time to time for very specific needs. For them, investing time in learning is also not that much important because most probably it will not pay off. The approach we will be discussing excludes the first two groups of these people and mostly concentrates on those who use the Excel relatively frequently and also those whose financial compensation or academic success is somewhat dependent on the skill of Excel. How do we use Excel? We use tables, write formulas, but let's try to visualize the usage of Excel in a more structured manner. Essentially, the whole process of using Excel is about solving simple individual tasks. We can visualize them as the list of elements in which the most frequent task is located on the left and the less frequent one on the right. This schematic list represents what we want to do. And by using the Excel, we create a corresponding list of solutions for each individual small tasks, which is defined by the depth of our knowledge of Excel. For most of the tasks on the list, we know at least some solution, but for some of them, not yet. I hope till now I didn't lose you. Using this visualization of our work in Excel, what does the learning process mean? First step, trying to find solution for the task for which we don't have the solution yet. And second direction is improving the efficiency of the solutions which we already have. The improvement of efficiency contains few dimensions. One of them is the speed, the faster, the better. Second, flexibility. We always favor more flexible solution. And the third one is reliability. The solution which creates a lower chance of potential mistake is definitely better. Now let's finally move to the learning process steps. I propose to split the process in three parts. The first step is learning. During this stage, we acquire the knowledge about the new tools, be it the new tools recently added to Excel or the tools which we never used before and recently discovered for ourselves. The second step is to go deeper into the tools which you already know. On the first step, we try to understand which tasks the new solution can solve, and on the second step, we try to understand what are the limits of this tool utilization, which essentially means the following: identifying the tasks which the solution cannot solve. At this step, we get better understanding of when we can apply the solution. And step number 3 is the reassessment of our initial matrix. We can go back to the matrix which connects the tasks and the solutions and put in new knowledge through the prism of the tasks we're working with. Hopefully we can find better solutions for some of them. Finding the proper balance between these three streams is exactly the key to success. If you focus too much on learning the new tools, you will get lost in superficial knowledge, and if the task is slightly modified, you may not be able to adapt. On the other hand, if you focus too much on going too deep in the existing solutions, you lose a chance to learn something new. For instance, recently added functions such as unique or sequence can substantially simplify a lot of tasks. Obviously, constantly focusing on the reassessment of the existing solutions is simply useless if you don't have the inflow of the new information, the new solutions or new tricks about Excel. I would like to give you a simple example how this approach works in real life. For instance, you have the following task which you never dealt before. You need to perform a two-dimensional search. What you know today is that you use VLOOKUP for one-dimensional search. After some time in Google, you realize that yes, there is a solution to use VLOOKUP for two-dimensional search. However, most probably you also spotted that people always refer to index match when it comes to two-dimensional search. So the first step would be to understand how the index and match combination works. Let's imagine you went for it. Now comes step number 2. You want to go a bit deeper and understand why people use index and match combination, which is essentially doubling the number of formulas instead of VLOOKUP, even for one-dimensional search. At this stage, probably you would realize that there are cases in which VLOOKUP is not working accurately, such as, for instance, in the case when you change the number of columns of your dataset, and index match continues to work properly. Now we go to the step 3, and maybe for one-dimensional search, you also should reconsider utilization of VLOOKUP and switch to index match. So if you go back, you will understand you started your journey from trying to find the solution for one task and ended up in finding the more efficient solution for completely different task. This is just one of the examples. In real life, it may take a bit more time to connect the dots and to find a better solution for existing task. If you want to try this approach, I suggest that you spend some time, maybe 30 minutes or an hour, and list the most time-consuming tasks you have today. After that, perform some investigation where you can find some different opinion on the way people approach these tasks. This could be a good starting point, and most probably it will help you to improve the pool of the existing solutions. And probably the last but not least comment about this approach, it will help you to keep the motivation of learning new things. You will inevitably face guaranteed improvements, maybe marginal, but improvements. And sense of achievement is one of the most powerful things which allows us to keep moving forward. Thank you, and see you in the next one.